What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. And today we're going to be covering our fourth-ranked incoming rookie quarterback. Matt, last week you had Mac Jones. I had Kyle Trask. Yesterday, I should say, not last week. Who is your fourth-ranked quarterback this year?
This is going to surprise a lot of people, but my number 4 ranked quarterback is Justin Fields from Ohio State. And I've vacillated between him and my number 3 for weeks now. And going back and watching the film, particularly against Northwestern and against Indiana, there's something that I see from Justin Fields that I just can't get past. And that, to me, is an extremely inconsistent and sometimes slow internal clock. To me, he makes the throws that the coaches tell him to make, that the play is designed for him to make. And if that's not there, then he will wait so long for something to come open off script that he leads himself and boxes himself into sack situations. And, it's not, he has all the tools. He's got great arm strength. He's accurate with the football. He's an athlete. An extremely good athlete. I think he's the second best athlete at the quarterback position behind Trevor Lawrence, who I just think is slightly better as an athlete. But to me, he marks all the boxes. He's a hard runner. He doesn't shy from contact. He was a guy that originally was at Georgia. He sat behind Jake Fromm when they decided they weren't going to move on from Jake Fromm. He went to Ohio State to replace Dwayne Haskins. He's done nothing but excel at Big Ten football. But there are instances, again, Indiana blitzed him. I didn't see any pre-snap adjustments from Justin Fields. Northwestern pressured him and was able to take away his first options. And there were times where it really led him to struggle. His last couple games of the season, he had a sub 60% completion percentage. He had more interceptions than he had touchdowns. And people will wash that away because of the brilliant game that he had against Clemson, where he, completely outshined Trevor Lawrence. But you can't just base things off of one game, to me, you can have all the talent in the world, but if the mental processing isn't there, it's concerning for me. And out of all of the quarterbacks that I think that could fall in this year's draft, he's the one that I think is going to be the most likely, person to fall. Just because, yes, he has all the tools, but watching the tape over and over and over again, it's just his internal clock is just it's a step slow for me. And that might work in college when your team is so much more talented than the other teams that you can kind of get away with that stuff. But at the NFL level, we're looking at, it's 2.5 seconds to throw the ball. Otherwise, you're really in trouble and you're holding the ball too long. And for me, Justin Fields is a guy that there are times when he tries to make too many things happen. If the first read isn't there, he's going to try to out-athlete everybody on the field. And that to me is concerning. So from that aspect, I think if he wasn't getting the coaching from Ryan Day, that's one thing. Maybe getting into a situation where a coach is going to work with him and really help him through his progressions, that could be something. But if it's more of a Justin Fields thing, I don't know that his talent in the NFL, for as great as his physical gifts are, I don't think that they can overcome the mental aspect of the game if he's not on top of it. We've seen insanely talented athletes. We're talking about, Ryan Leaf had a fantastic arm. He very accurate. Mental processing was bad. He washed out. Same thing with Jamarcus Russell. Jeff George never reached his potential. It's not because he didn't have the tools. Of course, the physical tools are there. Kyle Bowler had physical tools. But if you're not going to process the game mentally, why is Tom Brady Tom Brady? Is it because he overwhelms you with arm strength? No, it's because he knows the game. He has a great internal clock. He knows exactly what the defense is going to do. He can diagnose, he can adjust, he can, do those things. I'm not saying that Justin Fields can't eventually do those things. I just don't see it from him based off of what I was watching at Ohio State. And that to me is concerning because it's really, I don't know that it's something that you can really coach up, right? Like you can coach up a playbook, a scheme, something like that, right? You could tell him where to throw. And I think he's really good at following directions, and he'll execute a game plan. You sit in front of him, but in between a complete broken, busted play where he's extending it and making something happen and first or second read get the ball out, I think that there's a little dead zone in Justin Fields' game that is concerning to me. That being said, if he fell to the 49ers at 12, I would highly suggest that they take him. That would be something that obviously would make a lot of sense if the 49ers were looking to take a quarterback. To me, the issue with the 49ers is anybody expecting, another Super Bowl run if everybody stays healthy, I think that's a little ambitious. This roster is going to have a huge amount of turnover, and we don't know how they're going to turn out. So to me, it's going to be one of those things where it might take a year or two, and why not do it with a rookie quarterback that you have 4 to 5 years of salary control on? Yep. For me, in terms of his pro comp, that's a tough one. But I would say that he has a lot of Tony Romo in him in terms of he has all the physical tools, but sometimes Romo would hold on to that ball too long. I think Fields is a better athlete, but if we're talking how they play the quarterback position, I think that Justin Fields and Tony Romo is kind of a that's how I see him. He's a guy that is going to make some hero plays, but he's also going to make some plays where you're just like, I don't understand what happened there. And that's going to be from him trying to do too much. He's going to take some sacks where you're like, man, you can't take that sack. But yeah, for me, number 4 is Justin Fields.
Wow. Okay. I know a lot of people have him higher than that, including myself, because my number 4 is Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. Trey Lance, in my opinion, is the biggest boomer bust out of this year's draft class for quarterbacks.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he could come in, and I don't think he'll start right away, no matter where he goes, unless the team's truly desperate. If he's given the right opportunity to kind of grow, he could either be, like an MVP Cam Newton type, or he could just completely flame out like a Jamarcus Russell or something like that. Obviously not same style of play, but just the level of bust. I think Trey Lance is an extremely intriguing prospect. Of the games that I was able to watch, Youngstown, he really stood out against Youngstown. He looked fantastic. His deep ball is one of the best in this class, honestly. From what I watched him, he looked like he was able to just throw it all over the field with ease. I think there are some things he kind of needs to fine tune, but for the most part, coming out of a smaller school in North Dakota State, it's a pretty solid prospect overall. And having him 4th isn't really a knock on him, in my opinion. To me, I think that's just a testament to how good I think that the 3 people in front of him are that we'll get into the rest of this week. But, looking over his stats here, he really had a solid year. And I know it's tough because he sat out last season due to COVID, I believe. Everything that happened with that, he wasn't able to play. But I forget, I had the stat here. I think he had something like 247 pass attempts without an interception, which led the college football. I don't have the stat in front of me. I had it earlier. It's really interesting. He takes care of the football. He's a beast of an athlete. And I think that if any team that ends up with him is likely going to have some success, granted, they don't ask too much of him immediately. If he were to fall to the 49ers at 12, I would be more than happy with them selecting Trey Lance. Again, the question and kind of the debate is, who is he playing against? Smaller school, lesser competition. So I think that's why I have him 4th overall. But like I said, he's a tremendous athlete. The guy is a complete beast. He can run it. He can throw it. Some of the tape that I've watched was fantastic. And then there was also other games that didn't look so good, San Diego State in particular, where that's kind of what you want to see him improve from. And with a year off, it's tough. But
yeah,
4 for me is Trey Lance.
That's interesting. I'm not. Again, I went back and forth on Trey Lance and Justin Fields for a while, so I'm not going to begrudge you. I agree with the critiques on Trey Lance. It's just one of those situations where I decided to take the long-term potential right. and see what went rather than I feel like Justin Fields is the safer pick. Like you said, Trey Lance is going to be the boomer bust guy. But yeah, I'm not going to begrudge you either way. And I have a feeling that, in the next episode that we're going to kind of flip flop these. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think so too. I guess it's a sneak peek, but I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you like what you see, do us a solid, hit that subscribe button below, like this video, help us get to our goal of 2,000 subscribers so we can give away some 49ers jerseys, and comment below who is your 4th ranked incoming rookie quarterback.
Go ahead and click the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. We love having you here. And as always, until next time, go Niners.